Hi friends, my name is Cherky Dakulan and welcome to Evangelization TV with the mission of telling the World Wide Web of His love. In this video, I will share with you the books or part of the books in the Catholic Bible. But first, let me define the word Bible. This is come from the Greek word biblía, which means a collection of sacred texts or scriptures written by human beings like us through divine intervention, and also an account of the relationship between God and man. So let's start with the Old Testament. The books written in the Old Testament have 5 parts. Okay, so the first part is the Pentateuch, or the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible. And these are, first is the Genesis, of course, the story of creation, Exodus, then Leviticus, Numbers, and then Deuteronomy. The second part is the historical books. These are called historical books because the main objective of the writers was to show God's hand in the history of the people of Israel. And these are as follows. Okay? First is the book of the prophet Joshua, Judges, the book of the prophet Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 King, 2 King, First Chronicles, Second Chronicles, of course, no? Then Ezra, okay? And then follows Nehemiah, the prophet Nehemiah. The third part of the Old Testament is the Biblical Novellas. The purpose of this book are to provide insights into the sacred words of antiquity and inviting believers to discover the living word and its impact on our daily lives. And these are as follows. First is Tobit, Judith, Easter, First Maccabees, Second Maccabees. Now, let's move on to the fourth part, the wisdom books. What is the purpose of the wisdom books in the Old Testament? Well, there are 3 books of the Bible that are written as the Bible's wisdom literature, and these are the Proverbs, Job, and Ecclesiastes. Well, they reveal the collected wisdom of generations of godly people and invite us to consider the complexity and the simplicity of living wisely. So the wisdom books are as follows. First is the book of Job, the Psalms, of course, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, and the wisdom of Solomon. And lastly, the book of Sirach. Now let's move on to the prophetic books. The prophetic books are named as such because prophets are traditionally attributed as the authors of that book. However, modern scholars think that the books as they have been handed down to the present time are the work of successive generations of writers who took their inspiration, the messages of these prophets. And these are follows. The book of the prophet Isaiah, the book of the prophet Jeremiah, Lamentation, Baruch, the prophet Ezekiel, the story of Daniel, the book of Daniel, Hosea, Joel, and Amos, of course, and then Obadiah, okay, and then the prophet Jonah, the reluctant prophet. Then the book of the prophet Micah, the book of the prophet Nahum, and then Habakkuk, the book of the prophet Zephaniah, Haggai, okay, and then Zechariah. What else? The book of Malachi. Now let's move on to the books of the New Testament Bible. Okay, the books written in the New Testament of the Bible or of the Catholic Bible are as follows. Of course, the four Gospels, no? The Gospel of St. Matthew, the Gospel of St. Mark, Luke, and St. John. The four Gospels, let's move on to the early church historical books. This is a valuable history of the early Christian church, and that is the Acts of the Apostles. Then, the New Testament letters are the letters of St. Paul, no? So, what is the purpose of the saint of the Paul's letter? Well, they provide us, no, an insight into the beliefs and controversies of early Christianity. As part of the canon of the New Testament, they are foundational texts for both Christian theology and ethics, addressed specifically for the church or person. And these are as follows. Of course, no, the letter of Paul to the Romans, first letter of Paul to the Corinthians, second letter to the Corinthians, then Galatians, yeah, Ephesians, okay, Philippians, letter of Paul to the Philippians, and then Colossians, and then the first letter of Paul to the Thessalonians, second letter of Paul to the Thessalonians, and then his letter of Paul to Timothy, the first Timothy and the second Timothy. Of course, Paul's letter to Titus, then Philemon, no, then Hebrews. Okay, that's it. That's all, no, all the letters of Paul to those places and specific persons. Lastly, the general Catholic letters. The general epistles are named for their author instead of the church or the person to whom they were written. No, like while Paul's letter are named for the church or person, no, for a specific person. Okay, here letter of James, no, first letter of James, then letter of Peter, the second letter of Peter, and then first letter of John, second letter of John, and the third letter of John, letter of Jude, no, Jude, and then of course lastly the book of Revelation. Friends, these are parts of the Catholic Bible. And for my next vlog, I'm going to share with you, okay? I'm going to share with you every part of the Bible. And of course, I will start with the book of Genesis. So the story of the creation and all the what is inside every book, I'll share it to you of my next vlog. So I hope you will stay tuned for my next vlog. And then, friends, God bless you. Thank you for watching. God bless you and see you in my next video. Bye bye.